So a few weeks ago, I noticed a Windows volume dialog. Now this may not seem like very interesting, but the first thing I thought when I saw it was, I can do better than that. Now I decided to do it in Scratch. You might be like, well, you could have done it in Python or C Pound. But to be honest, I feel like Scratch was the best option because I didn't want to spend a lot of time on it. So that is what I ended up doing. So the first thing I did was I made a pen system. If you don't know what a pen is, it's literally what the name says. It's a pen. It acts like a drawing utensil. I just made it erase itself every time and it would just go to the next location. If you're confused, don't worry, it just looks good. As you can see, it was actually more straightforward than I expected it to be, and to be honest, this is probably the easy part. I created a slider just so I could easily change it, and as you can see, bam, we have a function thing, except it's on the wrong plane, so I just went ahead and swapped it with some Y ones. So, boom, we're working. The next thing was to actually design the outer graphic. I took a picture of it, then I decided to try and do this. I went ahead, made the box, and I tried to erase it at first. I tried to erase it, see if I could get the area looking good. However, the only problem was it wasn't working. It just didn't look right. As you can see, it didn't look right compared to the other one. So I decided to go the painful way and actually design the boxes around it. So I started with the top box, built around boxes around it, the usual stuff. And to be honest, it doesn't look the best like it could have been, but to be honest, I've seen worse. So the next thing I decided to do was so as you can see, I actually built that little dragging thing. That took quite a while. So after I designed the outer graphic, I designed a background for it, and now I built this little white box. This white box is the thing that you actually drag. So as you can see, I am designing the actual drag script. Now if you look at it, it just is a bit weird. There's no limits on it to where it can go. The slider has a limit, but everything else doesn't. And you can see it's a bit laggy too. So after a few aesthetic and operational changes just to make it look good and operate better, we get this. That looks smooth. That is pretty good. So, this is the script I use for dragging. It's a bit more complicated than I hoped it would be. So now I actually have to draw the text underneath. So I didn't want to draw every single text on the screen, so I decided to see if I could make it move to the next location and duplicate itself. I used the stamp strategy. The stamp strategy ended up being a horrible idea, and I actually don't show it in the video, in this footage, but I decided to go ahead and work on a cloning system. Eventually, as you can see, the stamping system is not going to work. The reason is that the pen system is already erasing everything, and it's just not working it's just not working with the pen. The pen is already erasing something, and we're trying to stamp something else. And it's just not working together. It just ends up being horrible and a humongous mess. So after fixing it a little bit, I managed to get this. It looks pretty smooth. I had to change a few things just so it doesn't look weird and fix some of the numbers. So I decided to add a song. What's a volume dialogue if you're not actually controlling any volume? The best song for it, of course, would be... So overall, this was actually a really fun project. I didn't expect for it to take really long, but surprisingly, it actually took longer than I expected it to be. But overall, I feel like it was a good experience. I liked it, and I hope you did too. Let me know in the comments if you'd like to actually see more stuff like this, because I have another idea coming on, believe me. If you like it, please subscribe. If you didn't, then leave a dislike, I guess. And I'll see you next time. I'll include a link to the project in the description. So, see you guys later.